Ta-da! We're back. Okay, so let me just start over. Okay, we just did this. We were just here. It's going to feel very much like we just did something like this. And before we get into it, if this is your very first time on these videos, make sure that you click to subscribe and then also click the bell to get notifications so you know when we go live. We go live very often, but it is never the same time twice. So also, if you have any questions, make sure you put them in the comments. I'm reading the comments, and we will go ahead and answer those questions as at the end, actually. So I'm going to start over again, even though I was already beginning, and I'm so sorry, you guys, but I was only a minute or so into it, okay? Yay, sound is great. Sound is awesome. Okay, guys, so basically what we're going to talk about here, the title of this video is How to Turn Your Pain into $1 million, basically. And that I feel like it's the only good way to make $1 million. Let's just call it. It's the only good way to make money is by helping somebody else, listen to me here, helping somebody else get out of the same pain that you were in. That's the only way I ever want to make $1 million, period. Drop the mic, done. Video can be over. But let's talk about how that happens, okay? So at the end, let's talk about like the Instagram ladies, right? Like the ladies, those women that have like these awesome bodies and whatever. They look fantastic. They're tan. They're great. They look like static after a while. Like whenever you're scrolling through and you see them, you're like, yeah, I get it. Awesome. You have great abs. That's awesome. But would it matter more for you? Would it matter more to you if you knew her backstory? If you knew that maybe she used to be 500 pounds and she, Nora needs you, Mike. Okay. Our daughter's yelling upstairs. If she weighed 500 pounds and maybe she had some autoimmune disorders and she had things in her life that were just making her feel like trapped in her body, right? I think we've all been there. I think we've all been in those places where we just didn't feel authentically and divinely like ourselves, right? We felt like there were other things on us that were weighing us down that were getting in the way. Right? That we're getting in the way of our true life and of our true goal here and our mission. Mission is the word I was looking for. So what if you knew her backstory and then you knew that she did X, Y, and Z in order to get this way? Now, the lady that you see right here matters so much more than if you didn't know anything about her. The whole thing here, you guys, is we have to be able to tell the whole story in order for it to matter to people. Because the people it should matter to are the people that we were back here. If you've never heard that before, know it now. The people that you are helping, that you are here to help, are who you were at the beginning of your story. Okay? Because you guys, they are still there. They're still there. And you know what that was like. And then you were able to pull yourself out of it. You were able to, whatever means that you use to get yourself out of that, you did that. But if you're not telling your story, then nobody knows anything about it. And they sure don't know you can help them. And so they're still stuck. Right? You see what I'm saying here? So now let me help you come up with the story, okay? Let me help you create your story. I did it yesterday at an event of mine. And it was a private event, so it wasn't able to be shared. So I'm doing it here on this video. So because this is publicly available, right? You can share this with your teams. You can share this with your friends. You can share this with whoever you want to. And that's why I put this stuff in this public forum so you can share it. So we can get this out here. So we can all learn how to do things, in my opinion, the right way. Okay. So how do we share our story? How do we create our story? It's very easy. It's 4 steps, you guys. The very first step is that we need to share our backstory. So what was our backstory? What was life like for you before? You know, like, so it's and here's something that you're probably all thinking right now. Well, which part of my backstory, right? Because we're all multifaceted. So we have like all of these different dynamic ranges of our personalities and of our lives. And I don't know, so much has changed. What do I talk about? That's the beauty of this. You can create a beginning and end story about many things, and you should, okay? Because it's when with us anyway in Young Living, if you're here and you're a Young Living person, I always say that because I'm in Young Living, so I have a lot of Young Living folks that are around me and close to me, and I love it, I love it, I love it. But there's also other people that watch these videos, and that's totally cool too. But if you're with Young Living, what we're talking about is how our lives were changed by what we've used with Young Living, okay? Or how our lives were changed with the opportunity that Young Living gave to us, right? And those are the things that you're talking about. So maybe you had conditions, or my own story, part of my story, one of my stories is that and this was about, oh my word, this was about 10 years ago. I was completely broke. It was post-divorce. My divorce ended very badly with me in the hospital and blood on the walls of the place that we rented. It was not good at all. And I that day told that man that I was leaving him, and I did that. And then I sunk into a really bad place. I was already an alcoholic, so it didn't make things better. I didn't have any money. I was a bartender, which is not great when you're an alcoholic, by the way. So I lived in a basement. I had my rescue dog with me. I couldn't afford to feed myself, but I would feed her cheeseburgers. She would get, and it's so bad. I'm just being honest though. It is what it is. It's the story. It's what it is. You can't flower up, and you can't change your story. It is what is. I gave Cuddles a hamburger, a Hardee's cheeseburger every day. I couldn't feed myself, but I tried to feed her the best that I could. They were cheap. I could afford them. And that's what I got her. And that was my life. I used to smoke a lot of cigarettes. I had ashtrays just full of cigarettes, just falling out. I just didn't really care about anything. I was having a hard time getting through the day, you guys. Like, it was very, very difficult. Okay. And then I met my husband. My husband is the one that, and if you do not have somebody in your life that is able to speak life over you when you can't and when you don't see it, please set the intention that somebody's going to show up in your life to do that. And then second, please look for people in your life to do that for. Okay? Mike saw things in me that I couldn't see in myself. He was able to unlock parts of me that I could not see. I was completely blind to these things, you guys. He was able to see them and bring life to them. Has anybody ever heard the story about the teacher in the classroom? I don't know why I'm raising my hands. You guys can't. I'm just going to say it. So, whatever. So, there was a teacher, and she had a classroom full of students, and they were all doing very poorly on their tests. Okay. She wanted to try something. What she did, the only thing that she changed in her classroom was this one thing. Every day when the kids came to class, she talked to every single one of them like they were the most brilliant person in the universe. She talked to all of them like they were Einstein. She talked to all of them like they knew everything. Oh, you're so smart, right? All of that stuff, the edification. You guys, the next time those kids were tested, what do you think happened? That was the only thing that changed. All of their test scores went up. People will rise to their expectations. People will also lower to their expectations. So let's be mindful of what we're breathing into people and what we're speaking into people. My husband spoke life into me, and now we're good, right? People can also speak death into you. And if that happens to you, be mindful enough. I didn't even mean to take this turn, but if that happens to you, be mindful enough and have enough confidence and enough love for yourself and your creator to say, that's not me. You got me wrong. Also, we don't need to hang out as much, right? If you want to speak that sort of thing over me, you can do it maybe somewhere else, right? Be strong enough to make those choices, you guys, because we're here to do something huge. We cannot do those huge things, you guys, if we are feeling like this. Okay. Please be around people. Please only allow people in your space that are going to speak life over you. Okay. I'm sorry. I kind of just took a left there, but I felt like it needed to be said. So I just went ahead and went there. So when we're going over our stories, you talk about your backstory. So your backstory is where you were, right? And then you talk about your pain point. So what was the painful part of being there? Okay. If we were to talk about the Young Living opportunity, the business side of Young Living, then my backstory is that I own a digital marketing agency. I quit my job in corporate America, and after I quit my job in corporate America, I quickly brought up within a month, I was already making what I had made at corporate America. So I was good, right? And then all of a sudden, after about a year or so, it's the client load started to become very heavy. They were very needy, and I was very attached to their outcome 24 hours a day. So it was worse than working 40 hours a week for a corporation. I was now tethered to people in a very yes sir way, for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Okay. And the reason I quit my job at corporate America is because I wanted to be home for Nora, right? I wanted to be able to be with my family. And this was a blessing turning into a curse very quickly. Well, whenever I started with Young Living, and I didn't even start it for the business reason, right? Whenever I started Young Living, I was really enjoying the products, right? Because you do. And then I was drinking the juice and I was like, okay, I like this. And then the compensation plan crossed my peripheral. And then I was like, oh, that actually doesn't look hard. I think I can do that. Right. And then the rest, there's more to the story, but then I hit silver, which is about $2,000 a month ish. There's a compensation plan. We'll put the link in the comments below. The about $2,000 a month after 3 months, I'm sorry. After 6 months, I was gold. And that typically takes about 5 years, a little shy of 5 years to get to. And it took me 6 months. And that was because of a strategy that I created that is now duplicating thousands of people all over the world. So this is like, that is my story. And it's crazy to me, but it is my story and I can own that story. But anybody that is in the position of working, too hard, even if you're working for yourself at home and thinking you're living the dream, right? Working for yourself at home, but still drowning in your everyday activities and drowning in the workload of what you're doing just to be able to say you work from home, but it's actually worse than if you had been at a work 40 hours a week that you could come home from. If that's the situation, we need to talk, right? Because I've been there, I've made it to the other side, and now I'm helping thousands of other people do the same thing. So that's a story. But you guys, listen to this. If I were to just say, I'm helping thousands of people make a bunch of money, da-da-da-da-da, how many people do you hear say that? Lots of people say that. And that's why I don't say it. I don't say it very often. Because everybody is saying that stuff. And nobody believes anybody that's saying it because they don't hear what it's anchored in. They don't hear the backstory. They don't know where in the world that actually came from. And they can't believe it / trust it if it doesn't actually make sense to them. Okay? So that's where a story matters. So our points on the story, again, you guys, our backstory. I'm very linear. This is my line, okay? As you hadn't noticed, this is my line. So backstory, and we need a story to back up the claim. Yes, 100% yes. Compliance, check. So backstory, pain point. What was painful about that for you? What was the solution? And then this happened. Like that part of the story, the switch, the swerve, that everything got better. And then this happened. And then the end of your story is what you're excited about in the future. And for me, I'm excited that we have freedom. I'm excited that we can make choices, that we have opportunities, that we have options, that we can afford to send Nora to Montessori school right now. And then in a year, when she's done with that, we can afford to unschool her and take her to Paris so she can see the freaking Eiffel Tower, which is what she wants to see. Like that's what I'm excited about for my own family. Now I have a secondary agenda too, and that's that every family on the planet lives the same life or has the same opportunities. Because you guys, there's no reason that everybody else can't live this way. Not one. Not one. It actually makes me tear up. Like, not one reason. Our kids are looking to us to see what is possible. We have to show them what freedom looks like. We have to show them that they don't have to work in a cubicle 40 hours a week. They don't have to give up their dreams. They don't have to. We have to show them that that's our job. That's our job as parents. Our kids should live better lives than we did. I didn't learn this stuff until I was darn near 40 years old. Nora is 5, and she gets to see it right now. What that means to me is that she's going to live a life on her own terms. And what I am going to instill in her, she's her own person and she's going to live her own life. But what I'm going to instill in her is service to others. Other people come before yourself. You take care of the people around you. And then whatever she wants to do is what she wants to do. But if she doesn't have to be in a cubicle 40 hours a week and she can take care of the people around her, if that were multiplied amongst the kids in our world, do you see what's coming? Do you see what kind of world we could be waking up? That just makes me happy, you guys. It just makes me really, really happy. So that's the story. That's what it's about. Go ahead and ask your questions if you have any questions. So again, number 1, backstory. Number 2, pain point. Number 3, solution. Then this happened. Number 4, this is what I'm excited about in the future. Kimberly Bogan, I have to remind myself I don't have to be the guru because I can help those that are where I was. It is one of the most monumental light bulb moments that any human being can have, is that you do not have to know everything. All you have to know is all you already know. All you have to know is what you already know, because that's all they need to know. That person that is in that place that you were, they don't need to know what's in a physicist's brain. They don't need to know the molecular breakdown of different essential oils. They don't care about that. They need their life changed. I'm just emotional today. They need their life changed, you guys. You're not going to change their life with the molecular breakdown of essential oils. You're going to change their life by loving them and by showing them. It's like we walk through the fire in order to turn back, put our arm back, grab the hand of somebody else still in there and pull them out. We stay close enough to the fire to be able to pull the other people out. You have to be of service, to be of true service to other people. You have to be willing to stay close to the fire. A lot of people, you come out of the fire and then you run. You're like, I'm getting away from that. I do not want to talk about it. I do not want to deal with anybody else in that. I am out of it. I'm out. I'm out. Somebody who is of service to others stays close to the fire and says, listen, I got you. I will help you get through what you're getting through. I will walk with you through this. I will feel the same pain that you're feeling right now because I felt it before. I'm staying close to the fire to be with you and to help you out. That, you guys, is service to others. Marissa, I have a similar story, and my husband got me out of a negative situation. He is my savior and saw the good in me that was deep down inside of me. Oh, isn't that great, Marissa? Isn't that fantastic? Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. There are no accidents, right? There are no accidents. The things that happen to us for an ultimate reason. There's ultimately a reason why things happen. It's cool. It's cool to watch. Kimberly, we need the story to back up the claim. Yes. I can't wait for that for my children. It's going to be a thing of beauty. Kimberly, working on my story today, I'm realizing that the pain point for starting with Young Living only led to finding the pain point I was trying to pretend didn't exist. That YL has really helped. Oh my word. I'm reading that again. Listen, Kimberly just had a breakthrough. Working on my story today, I'm realizing that the pain point for starting with Young Living only led to finding the pain point I was trying to pretend didn't exist. Man, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. That is awesome. Because now you're going to be able to help people in that situation that you were trying to bury. That's amazing. I'm so glad. Thank you for sharing that. Angie, just as powerful as the second time. I think maybe more. It is sinking in from yesterday. Thank you. Oh, man. Thank you, Angie. I love you. Kimberly, that is good. Kimberly, started trying to get my children to sleep and found out it was actually helping me with mental health and healing from past abusive relationships. Wow. So your why started out as trying to get your children to sleep, and then you realized it was helping you with your mental health and healing from a past abusive relationship. That's amazing. That's amazing. You guys, don't be afraid. And this is going a little bit longer than I usually do. I'm just going to go for a couple more minutes. Don't be afraid to dig into the stuff that is hard to remember. You know, we repress things, right? If there are parts of your life, if there are years of an adult part of your life anyway, as a kid, it's hard to remember some things anyway. It's just, you know, it is what it is. But if there are hard parts to remember or hard years to remember of your adult life, try to think back into those years and think what happened there. Because you may have trauma that's been buried. You may have things that you need to be bringing out because they may be coming out in their own way, one way or another anyway. And I'm not a psychologist or a psychiatrist or whoever deals with that. I'm not anything. I'm just like you. I'm nothing. I'm not saying you're nothing, but I'm like, I don't have, you know, special degrees or anything like that. We're just sitting and talking. This is like if we were at a coffee shop, this is a conversation we would have. I like to deal in real. I like to talk about real stuff. So I would do that just to look for those different pain points, because there might be things, and maybe even grab the oil release while you're doing it and see if you can find anything out. Now, we're not trying to fabricate things and we're not trying to make things up, but I do want for us to all be able to directly address things that happened and truly heal from them, but not just that, be able to reach that hand back into the fire to help other people going through the same thing. Marissa, real talk for real people all day. All day. Okay, well, you guys, it's been fun. I didn't even know if I was going to have time to do this today. And I'm like, man, I didn't have time to do it yesterday. I have to do it today. I'm totally going to do it today. So we did it. You guys have an awesome night, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.